We have a lot of great questions coming in from cyberspace, and one of these questions I thought best to be answered by a Torah scholar himself, and that is Nehemia Gordon here with us from Israel. And Nehemia, good to have you back.
It's great to be here, Michael. Shalom.
Shalom. I had the question, what is the Torah? What is the Torah exactly? We're going to hear it from someone who was raised in the Torah his whole life.
Yeah, let's start with like really basic. So Torah is the Hebrew word that means instruction. It's from the root. Every word in the Bible in the Hebrew language, or I should be more precise, every adjective, noun, and verb has a three-letter root. The three-letter root of Torah is Yud Resh He, to instruct, Yara. And Torah simply means instruction. It's often translated as law. In Greek, it was translated as Nomos. Nomos is the Greek word for law, and then we have in English antinomian, which is really anti-Torah, anti-law. Right. But law, it doesn't get the full sense of the word Torah. Torah really is instruction, and you teach. For example, the word for teacher in Hebrew is moreh. Moreh is from the same root as Torah. Moreh is the one who teaches the Torah. Mm-hmm. So one of the places where we can see like a more like literal meaning of this is you'll see commandments in the Torah where it'll say like, you know, this is the Torah of the sin offering, and this is the Torah of the burnt offering, and the word there is Torah. This is it's the instruction for that particular
Torah of or for, right? The instructions for concerning, pertaining to the sin offering.
What really we're looking at, it'll say this is instruction for the sin offering, and originally what we were dealing with is Moses had a scroll that he wrote. And on that scroll on the side, it probably said, this is the instruction for the sin offering, and they put that in a jar. And at some point, Moses tasked Joshua, he said, sew all of those together. And they, and literally, probably he came along and sewed them together with sinews. But that's what that is. It was the instruction. And so we sometimes have the word Torah in plural. We'll have Torot, the laws, and the rabbis have taken that to mean there's a written Torah and an oral Torah. But actually, when it says Torah in plural, Torot, it means all of these specific instructions. Now, there's a great passage in Joshua chapter 8. Let me pull this up, and we're doing this live, and I don't have the verse in front of me. But there's a verse there where it talks about how Joshua read for the people all that Moses instructed. It's a great verse, and I'm not finding it at the moment. But the point is, they had this book of the Torah. In other words, at the end, Torah became the collective body of the instruction that Moses gave the people of Israel. And a lot of people, though, they look at Torah. Here it is. Joshua 8:31, just as Moses, the servant of the Lord, it says there, Yehovah, has commanded the Israelites, as written in the book of the law of Moses, an altar of hewn stone, okay. There in the presence of the Israelites, Joshua wrote on the stones a copy of the Torah of Moses, which he had written. So there were these stones which had, they were plastered over with plaster, and he wrote on ink the entire Torah on these stones in front of the altar there in northern Israel. And then he read the entire, here it is, verse 34. And afterwards he read all the words of the Torah, blessings and curses, according to all that is written in the book of the Torah. So there was this book of the Torah, and it goes on, it says, there was not a word of all that Moses commanded that Joshua did not read before all the assembly of Israel, and the women and the little ones and the aliens who resided among them. So the Torah was this scroll which had all these specific instructions sewn into it, meaning it was this big scroll, and Joshua read every single word that Moses commanded, and that had been written down in that scroll. That's what the Torah is. And, the Torah, we're told, don't add and don't take away from it. Deuteronomy 4:2, Deuteronomy 12:32. It's what God gave the people of Israel to live by and to teach the world about. So,
as we talk about the term law, when we see it in the Gospels and in what's referred to as the New Testament by Christians, we see it in here, and we see that it is the word nomos here. And this is, where we see that, this may be written in Greek, a lot of the New Testament, but yet it's referring to every word, and it's referring to a culture that is completely immersed in and is knowledgeable of the Torah. It was a schoolmaster. It's like, as you grew up learning Hebrew, in kindergarten.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a schoolmaster. Nothing changed. What you learned in kindergarten is concerning Hebrew is still true today. It's not like you went on past it. But I want to ask you about this. Yeshua makes a statement here, think not. And that's where most Christians stop right there. And they put a period, and then they close the book and say, may the Lord add his blessing in the reading of his holy word. Amen. However, it does go on. Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. Now you read this in the Hebrew Matthew, the ancient Hebrew Matthew, but also in the Greek. What is it saying? Both ways.
Well, so
I did not come to destroy. First of all, I'll read the whole thing. Think not that I've come to destroy the law or the prophets. I'm not come to destroy, but to fulfill.
Right. So the word in Greek is nomos. And if you want to know what that Greek word means, and here's where people get kind of messed up and confused. They say, oh, I want to know what this Greek word means in Matthew 5:17. And they go and they look at Plato and Aristotle and Homer. That's a mistake. What you need to do is go look at the Septuagint, which is the Greek translation of the Tanakh, and then see what Hebrew word stands behind that Greek word. Doesn't matter what it means in Homer's Iliad, which is what Greek scholars do. You need to go and see when they were translating from Hebrew in the Septuagint, which is the Greek translation of the Old Testament.
And it was done by scholars, Hebrew scholars.
That's right.
It wasn't done by philosophers in
what
Greece.
does the Hebrew word mean? That's the only thing that's important. They may have used the wrong Greek word. It doesn't matter. What's the Hebrew word behind it? And then you go and you look and you find, oh, this word nomos is a translation of Torah. So this isn't like, what they sang in the song, I forget who sings the song, I fought the law and the law won. No, that's not it. This is the concept of Torah. This isn't the guy with the 6 guns and the law.
Right.
This is
Flashing
the Torah.
blue lights, prison bars, handcuffs. You have the right to remain silent.
The law. God's given us this law, and it's this punishment, this curse.
Oh, it's a curse.
No, that's not what. This is the Torah, the instruction. And one of the things you need to do, is look and see how is this word used in a literal sense and in other contexts. Let me give you a verse. Isaiah chapter 2, verse 3. Many people shall come and say, come and let us go to the mountain of Jehovah, to the house of the God of Jacob, that he may teach us his ways, and may he walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth instruction, the word of Jehovah from Jerusalem. And everybody loves this verse, right? Except when it says we want to learn his ways, but we don't want to learn the Torah. The word teach there, teach us his ways, is the word yara. He'll Torah us his ways is what it actually says. So you can't say, teach me the ways, but not the Torah, because that is his ways, the Torah. It's the same word in Hebrew, yara and Torah. It's the same root. And so he's going to Torah us his ways. This is a prophecy. The Torah is not done away with. If you believe Isaiah, and I love this prophecy because it ends with them beating their swords into plowshares, and there's peace to the world. To get to that, we need to go through the Torah and be taught this Torah in the ways of God.
Yeah, it's incredible. And this is, as it speaks of this in Galatians, and again, we have a translation that's done by agenda. All those who are of the law are under a curse. And it sounds like that if you are to do anything concerning the law, you're under a curse. But then it says, as it is written, cursed is everyone who is, you go back to Deuteronomy, where he's quoting from, outside of the law. In other words, the law, the Torah is the fence, the instructions. This is where you're supposed to be. Wow. This is where the protection is. And if you're outside of it, we as a nation, as those words were read, we were to say, yes, we are under a curse. We are cursed if we are outside of the law. If we're in violation of the law, we are under a curse. We're under a curse.
Wow. Let me show you one more verse in Genesis 46:28. He sent Judah before him unto Joseph to direct his face unto Goshen. And really what it says in Hebrew is to teach him the way to Goshen. And the word there is Torah. So basically God shows us the way. How do we get there? There's this path of God that we need to walk on. Don't veer from the right or to the left. Show us how to get to where we need to get to. That's what the Torah does. It's the GPS. And it says in 300 feet, turn right. That's how the GPS, that's what the Torah does. It's all it's about. So, yeah.
Well, that is beautiful. Well, we are going to have to take a break until next week. We'll have some more questions from cyberspace. You have some more that have come in, haven't you?
I do, and I want to share those. Yeah.
Okay.
Some good questions.
Well, join us again right after this message, and be here next week for the conclusion, or at least another
Continuation.
episode. Continuation. We don't know where this is going to end, ladies and
They'll
gentlemen.
never let me out of the studio.
Stand with us. we need you to stand with us. This is a message for you. Please listen up. Please take heed, because we're not just blowing smoke. See you in a minute.